This particular event is very interesting to us because of the carriers that are present here. And Equinix is a global carrier-neutral service provider that houses about 675 plus carriers in our facilities. So what we had found out is that Ethernet services are growing at a very high speed, and a service to connect these carriers in a complementary fashion to their existing infrastructure is something that many of them look for. Along the sides of MEF and the standards of carrier Ethernet exchanges, we believe that there's a high demand for Ethernet services and therefore an interconnection and translation of those services. I think the challenges have been that the hardware providers in the past have used the same standard but deployed it in many different ways, and then the carriers use that hardware and customize the services to their needs. And today, when these carriers want to interconnect and provide global solutions, they quite often have to negotiate their agreements that take a long time. And I believe, again, that Equinix is very well positioned to provide that interconnection service, neutral and independent of carrier services. We believe that carrier Ethernet exchange is a complementary step for an interconnection service. So customers that reside within our facilities have been in the past seen to connect through direct connections, as well as internet exchanges for their IP services, as well as private NNIs between each other. We believe that process will continue. In many scenarios, Ethernet exchanges will provide a way in or an easier scale for carriers to start doing business with each other. However, at some point, for different type of services, an interconnection or an NNI, private NNI, will be the alternative. I think that carrier Ethernet exchanges certainly pose a lot of benefit to the carriers themselves because they are the wholesalers of the service. Someone that buys and sells a lot of Ethernet services obviously is the one that could use it. Someone that buys very few services may not see the same benefit. Further down the line, I think that we visualize carriers in three groups: global providers, regional providers, and local providers. And I think the groups of each have departments that will benefit whether they'd like to buy or sell. There is one case study where carriers that want to deploy to a new geographical area, and don't have current presence there, can very quickly and without a lot of capex deploy their presence, connect to a variety of local providers, and use them to build the business case for a bigger deployment. In other scenarios, it may be the backbone providers that have a large core network but need the variety of capillaries in the metro where they terminate to. So it depends on the carrier and depends on the use.